Is it time for another week of Bears football? I guess only time will tell. But looking ahead to this week 3 matchup between the Bears and the Colts, it makes sense first to look back at what happened in week 2. And I mean, ultimately, the NFL, NBC, decided they were going to put the Chicago Bears in prime time to play football against the Houston Texans. What did they think was going to happen? Bears football is what was going to happen. What else did you expect? Of course it was going to fucking happen. What possible universe could there be that you would justify this? Like every single alternate universe, multiverse, whatever the fuck, knows that Bears football in prime time is a shit show. So stop putting them in prime time no matter how big their media market size is, damn it. They lost 19-13 to the Texans and now sit at 1-1 in it. It's really sad because they were terrible offensively and they still had the ball with under 2 minutes to go with the chance to win the game. As unrealistic and unlikely as that was to occur, right? There was a chance. So you're telling me there's a chance. The defense is playing solid football right now, 36 points allowed through 2 games. Big whoop-de-woo. And I don't even mean that to be dismissive, but the reality is this team's identity is supposed to be built on the offensive side of the ball, not the defensive side of the ball. We've seen plenty of Bears teams in my lifetime that play good defense. And that doesn't win shit at the end of the day. So no, I'm not going to go giggly tits because the defense is good. You've got a defensive-minded head coach. You've invested a lot of resources in the defense. It better be fucking good. It ought to be fucking elite at this point. Right? Like, I'm not celebrating because you met the bar of mediocrity. And speaking of mediocrity, of course, we're talking about the Chicago Bears. We're talking about how their offense stinks because they've been a major disappointment so far. The offensive line is not only not better, it's worse. How the fuck did it get worse? But it did. They've been terrible these first 2 weeks. The running game stinks. DeAndre Swift in the running game and the type of running that they're trying to deploy him with stinks. Caleb looked better in the first half last Sunday, but second half, not so much. If you're looking for major positive vibes and signs that he's going to be the answer, you haven't got a ton of them the first 2 weeks. Just got to keep it 100 here, folks. You know, and even when you want to talk about like the disappointment in some of the weapons, like, hey, DJ Moore, you're getting paid big time money. You need to make a wide receiver 1 type of play. Rome Odunze, I'll worry about getting your last name right consistently when you fucking catch a touchdown. Like Caleb hits you right in the hands on you got to catch that. Like you were the 9th overall pick. You're not some 7th round dude that's just happy to be on the roster. You were drafted for superstar potential. You have to make those fucking plays. Anyways, when you look at the Colts, they're not a whole lot better. They're sitting at 0-2 right now after a 16-10 loss to the Packers last Sunday. And that was a Packers team, mind you, without Jordan Love. They let Josh Jacobs go for over 150 yards on the ground. They didn't put a lot of pressure on Malik Willis. Just not a great day for them. You know, Jonathan Taylor, sure, he went over 100 yards on the ground, so that's a positive sign for this Colts offense. But Anthony Richardson with 3 interceptions was a big reason for the Colts losing that game. And honestly, as urgent as of the game as this is going to be for the Bears, the Colts have to be in a bit of desperation mode. Because if they want any shot at all in the AFC South, you cannot start 0-3. They're already 2 games behind the Texans, who are undefeated. And oh, by the way, the Texans beat them in week 1, so it's like a 2.5 game lead through 2 games if you really want to get technical here. The Colts have to be desperate. The Bears might feel the urgency for a win. The Colts have to be desperate. So maybe we can latch onto that as a sign of we could expect a pretty good game on Sunday. And it seems like the money indicates that in one respect. The Colts are only favored by 1 at home. Maybe the Bears are getting a little bit more love from the money than they should. The over-under, though, is only 43.5. Yeesh. That tells you a lot. In terms of the injury report for this one, knock, knock. Who's there? Keenan. Keenan who? Keenan's missing another game. Big fucking surprise. That's who. Through 3 games, he will have suited up for 1. That's about par for the career course here. What the fuck else would you expect? Of course, Keenan Allen's going to miss a game. And then Kari Blasingame, Travis Homer are all out. And you could say Blasingame maybe is hurting them in the running game a little bit with him being out. But Travis Homer, maybe this will actually be the chance that they give Khalil Herbert more carries and fucking Roshan Johnson more carries. You ever notice that when you're a fan of a team? And I don't give a fuck who you are. You look at a team, you look at a coaching staff, and they always have this raging fucking hard-on for one or two players that you don't see it, you'll never see it. Everybody in the fucking world knows these guys shouldn't be getting the opportunities that they get because they're just not good, and yet they continue to get out there. So by Travis Homer being out, maybe it actually opens up the door for vastly superior running backs like Khalil Herbert and Roshan Johnson to get some damn tick, and maybe one of these two guys can revitalize or give a lift to this Bears running game that fucking needs it. No more Travis Homer carries, no more Travis Homer action. He ain't doing shit for you. Unfortunately for Bears fans, Nate Davis is questionable, and I say that only because that leaves open the door that he'll play on Sunday. That would be a huge detriment to the Bears if he does suit up. And you say, well, what about Ryan Bates or anybody? Yeah, it doesn't matter, but Nate Davis is dog shit. So when I looked and I saw he was only questionable, I'm like, fuck. That means he might actually play. Good luck, Caleb. You're going to need it. As far as the Colts go, pretty good in terms of the injury report. Latu and Michael Pittman Jr. are questionable. Certainly they want to have both of those guys play. I'm assuming at this point they will. It felt like Michael Pittman was a late addition to the injury report on Friday, so not sure if that's just a little concern or if it's like, hey, something happened during practice and he might not play. Keys to victory for both of these teams. First for the Bears, it would be really great if the interior line didn't consistently get their shit pushed in. And even that is underselling the level of suck of this interior line at this point. And frankly, the line as a whole, they're getting beat on basic shit, stunts and all of this. Like, just basic concepts. Like, you look at offensive line coach Chris Morgan and you say, what exactly is it that you would say you do around here? Because it's surely not coaching up the offensive line. If anything, it feels like you're coaching down the offensive line. Next, stop with the predictability in the goddamn running game. Like if I wanted to see halfback dives on 1st and 10, 2nd and dive, you know what I'd queue up? Put them up. Put them up. I'm the offensive coordinator. I got courage. I know what I'm doing. I've got it. I've been spending all week on it. I got it figured out. We're going to shock them. We're going to shock the world. 1st and 10, halfback dive. Like this is the type of shit. 3rd down fucking screen passes out wide, your backup tight end. Like everything about this offense through 2 games has been fucking dumb. So stop with the predictability in the goddamn running game and stop trying to force it to happen. Get Caleb in a damn rhythm early. You were doing a little bit of that in the first half against Houston. Like there was some hope there. Like he was looking a little better. And then you got back to doing what you do. The success of this team this year on offense is going to not be based around the fucking running game. It's going to be based around Caleb Williams. You got to find a way to get Caleb Williams into a good rhythm early. In terms of the Colts, pressure them up the middle until they stop it. Like they should look at this as their girl has given them an invitation to the back door and they can't fucking wait. No lube, no anything. They're going, pow, right in that shit. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Make the Bears run max protect. Make the Bears prove that they can block somebody, that they can put a hat to a hat and stop somebody. If the Colts come into this game running a lot of 4-game pressure, they're doing this wrong, even if they were generating some pressure with their front 4. You got to get after this offensive line because right now they suck. Full stop. If the Colts defense pressures up the middle, brings pressure, and does it effectively, it's going to be a long day for Caleb Williams in this offense again. In terms of the Colts offense, Anthony Richardson's got to protect the ball. Cannot have 3 turnovers in this one. No reason to put the ball at risk like that against this Bears team. But if you do, like the Bears can capitalize, you cannot, especially for a Bears team on the road, you can't lose the turnover battle. He has to protect the ball. And then assuming he's going to play, they got to take a look at whatever Nico Collins did last Sunday with this Bears secondary and look to mimic very similarly with Michael Pittman Jr. Through 2 games, he's had a couple of duds. They need a 100-plus yard performance out of him. Like I said, assuming he's going to play, This needs to be a steady, consistent diet of Michael Pittman Jr. in this one, because it will open up other things offensively for Jonathan Taylor, for Alec Pierce, for Joshua Downs, what have you. But if Pittman's the guy you just paid big money to, he needs to play like the big money guy. You need him to be the star at this moment. As I look at this one, like I said, they got a Bears team. This would be a really important win for them, especially if the offense showed something. For the Colts, this is an urgent situation. They've got to win this one. There's a chance this could be really ugly, and you got Richardson and Williams turning it over like crazy, and who knows what the fuck could happen, right? Or it's a matchup of two young potential star quarterbacks showing why people think they could be future stars. I just, based off of what I've seen out of this Bears offense the first 2 weeks, like we're back to the same old Bears football shit, where you're praying to God you can score 20 points and hoping that you can hold the opponent to 17 or less. And that just feels unreasonable here. Richardson should have some opportunities early and often to pick up some yardage with his feet. The Bears could be susceptible to that when facing quarterbacks. I'm going to pick the Colts to win this one 23-20, to which Colts fans say, no, the Jeff jinx is in effect. That's right, bitches.